Okay. Okay, we'll call this council meeting of Thursday, January 12th to order. I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq, and let's stand for the singing of O Canada.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all our sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Okay, record of attendance. Can I have a motion for Councillor Hatfield? Okay, Councillor Dare, second by Deputy Mayor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, contrary. Motion carried. Absent with regrets, that was there. Declarations of conflict of interest, anyone? You can declare at the time of the agenda item.
Yes, Your Worship, I'll be declaring a conflict of belief on item 11B.
So, must be 10,
Put to that, I believe I'm
10B.
12B.
Wait a minute. Transit 10B and 11B.
Sorry.
13B.
And 13B? 13.
Yep.
Hey,
You'll remember.
when we get there.
Okay, anyone else? Conflict? Okay, thanks. Approval of agenda, any additions or deletions? Go ahead, Deputy.
Can we add African Heritage Month?
Okay, so I'm going to put that under additions 15A, African Heritage Month. Anybody else? Go ahead, Councillor Bell.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just to update council regarding the Nova Scotia Federation of Nova Scotia Municipalities special meeting coming up on January 26th. There was a
Okay.
meeting last night virtually, so.
Okay, that's under 15B. Anyone else? Good. Okay, a motion with the additions. Okay, Councillor Hatfield, second by Councillor Lesser. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Presentations. I don't think we have a presentation, do we?
No.
Well, we're going to make one. Let's do one anyway. I have here a letter from CAMA. That seems to have embarrassed our CAO. Dear Madam Mayor, the Canadian Association of Municipal Administrators, CAMA, Long Service Recognition Awards Program recognizes and celebrates the dedication to public service and municipal management of our members, which is a significant priority for our association. These awards are based on the number of years of full-time paid employment in municipal government in a management capacity, a chief administrative officer, or reporting directly to a CAO. They're granted at 10 years, given in 5-year increments. This year, your municipality, we acknowledge the commitment of your chief administrative officer, Jeff Gouchou, for his, you ready? 30 years of municipal service in a management capacity. So we ask that you would make a big deal of Jeff and make him smile. It says something like that. So come on up. Oh yeah, Mama's got everything covered. So this is, yeah, like what's up here. So we have a certificate, and it says presented to Jeff Bouchou for more than 30 years of municipal service in a management capacity. Your dedication to excellence, knowledge, and integrity have changed municipal politics for the better. Thank you for what you continue to do at a local, regional, provincial, and national level. So this is for you. You are there you go. Put that on your wall. We have, may as well embarrass him more. We have a very humble CAO who doesn't like the recognition. I think I've said in my 10 years, probably 100 times publicly, I wouldn't be half the mayor without him. He provides, and this entire council agrees, so I know I'm speaking for them when I say it. You know, it's the job of our CAO to provide us with the best information so that we can make informed decisions. And he always brings, I say, the good, bad, and the ugly. It doesn't matter what the information is. He puts it in front of us and you know, expects, as our jobs are as elected officials, to make the decisions. But that information and gosh, Jeff, just the way you handle your staff and what you do and how much you care about this entire region, not just this community, because you don't even live here. And look what you're doing for us, and you don't even live here. Woohoo! So thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship, thank you.
You're most welcome. You're going to have to stop talking now. Okay. Approval of minutes, Town Council, December the 8th. Okay, moved by Councillor Cleveland, second by Deputy Mayor. Any discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. We didn't have a cow. Public hearing. Okay, so we're at the public hearing portion, and what happens here is I will read the motion 3 times, and I will ask anybody in the audience that wants to come speak to whatever motion I'm reading. You can come up to the microphone, tell us your name, where you live, and you can share your thoughts with us if you have concerns, whatever. That's the time to share it. I would say that council does not make a decision or engage in debate at this point. We'll do that later in the agenda. Actually, it won't be too much later. It'll be right after this public hearing session where we will make the decision. So by all means, anybody that wants to share. So the first item under public hearing is 10A, and it's the Water Street rezoning. The motion is to approve second reading to an MPS amendment to change the boundaries of the industrial designation and rezone 2 lots on Water Street, PID 90195-280 and 903-26125, from waterfront industrial M2 to medium density residential R2. So I'll ask 3 times if anybody wants to speak to that. Would anyone like to speak to this one? Come on up and just right to the microphone, name and where you live, and share your thoughts.
Okay, I don't think I've talked to all of you guys yet. I think it was September last time I was here. My name's Adam Garnett. I live right here in Yarmouth.
Yeah.
And I'm the one who submitted the application for the rezoning down there on Water Street. So I bought that piece of land back in the summer from Nova Scotia Power, mainly just because it was, I've got the yellow apartment building up on Water Street, it's mine, and just because that land touches mine. Mm-hmm. I planned on, nothing too urgent or anything, because I'm tackling the Japanese knotweed infestation that's going on down there right now. My plan was having it zoned as industrial, I don't have any plans to do anything industrial with it. If I go back through some older zoning maps that I've looked at, if you go really far back, there were 3 houses on that piece of land back in the early 1900s up until the 30s. And the land has never had an industrial use besides being a lumber yard for a couple of years in the 70s. If you take a look at other houses in the region, it's the only property on that side of Water Street, north of Forest Street, that's zoned as industrial. And my plan was nothing too urgent or anything, but I did plan to maybe build a residential structure on that land at some point. Even though it's on Water Street, keep in mind that it's a fairly long piece of property, and it goes right up against the back of my properties on Main Street there. So I was thinking, not right down on Water Street, right across from Scotia Garden, but I was thinking at some point, maybe in the next couple of years, I might plan to use that land. Once I've got the knotweed out of there and once I've got it cleared and landscaped, I would like to, have it rezoned so that I know that in the future I could use it for residential development.
Okay, hang on one second. I know this is not where we debate, but since you're here, what did we do with the weed issue? We passed that on, we made a motion to,
Looking for advice on the original.
yeah. Did you know that?
What's that?
We did, Councillor Dares brought up is it knotweed?
Yeah.
That he brought that issue to the council table, and council has since reached out to the province and asked, what are the steps?
In particular, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead. It's not about this, so.
Yeah, the Japanese knotweed is one concern in the town of Yarmouth, but the other one is the Himalayan blackberry. And I'm not sure if you have that on your property. I believe you may.
Yes.
That's a noxious. That's a very aggressive, and it's not a native plant. It's very aggressive, and hopefully in the coming months and year, we'll find a way to eradicate that from the town of Yarmouth. So.
Yeah.
If you've had to try clearing any of it.
I've done a little bit of research, and
Yeah.
I spent a couple weeks of my summer there just hacking down the knotweed so
Yeah.
that I could actually get at it.
Yeah.
But probably there are ways you can do it. They say 3 to 5 years of glyphosate injections into the root stem if you do it in the narrow window between the last time that the plant flowers in the summer and the first frost. They say a couple of years of doing that and then digging out the rhizomes, the root bodies. You can get rid of it that way, but probably getting an excavator in there would be the
Yeah, we just
safer
want you
thing
to be aware of the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, I am. I've been.
Okay.
That's why I say I have no immediate plans to do anything with that property until I've dealt with
Thank you.
Good,
that issue.
thank you. Okay, would anyone else like to speak to this one? And a third time, would anyone like to speak to this one? Okay, hearing no one, we'll move on to the next one and deal with this shortly under business. The second one is transitional and supportive housing MPS LUB amendments. And that is to approve second reading to MPS LUB amendments to include provisions related to transitional and supportive housing by development agreement. Applicant is Juniper House. Would anyone like to speak to this? Welcome.
Hi, if you don't recognize me without my dog beside my side, I'm Ken Cleveland. I'm related to Wade, but don't hold that against me.
Too late.
I'm speaking on behalf of Acts of Kindness Society. I live over Cape Verschoe. I'm speaking on behalf of Acts of Kindness Society. We're the group that's working on the old church on East Street. And we want to support Juniper House in this application for rezoning. As you know, we're all just a stroke of bad luck away from being in a pretty bad situation, and anything that the council can do or we can do to help remove red tape or roadblocks from helping people, we support completely, and we'll be back for support ourselves sometime. So,
Excellent, thank you.
thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak to this one? And I'll ask a third time, would anyone else like to speak to this one? Okay, hearing no one else, we'll move on to 10C. Housekeeping amendments, development agreements, and site plan approvals. That's to approve second reading to municipal planning strategy, MPS, and land use bylaw, the LUB, housekeeping amendments related to development agreements and site plan approvals. Would anyone like to speak to this one? Would anyone like to speak to these housekeeping amendments? And one last time, would anyone like to speak to the housekeeping amendments? Okay, hearing no one, we'll move on to business arising. Thanks, folks, for coming up to speak. So business arising, we just go through the three that were on the public hearing. The first one is a Water Street rezoning. The recommended motion is that council approve second reading to an MPS amendment to change the boundaries of the industrial designation and rezone 2 lots on Water Street, bid 90195-280 and 903-26125, from waterfront industrial M2 to medium density residential R2. I'm looking for that motion. Okay, Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Lesser. Is there any discussion on this one? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Thank you. All righty, 11B, excuse me. The transitional supportive housing amendments that council approved second reading to MPS and LUB amendments to include provisions related to transitional and supportive housing by development agreement, and the applicant is the Juniper House. And we're aware of that one. You want to make that motion, Councillor Hatfield, second by Councillor Lesser. Is there any discussion on this one? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Okay. Nice to see you get your steps in. Okay, 11C, housekeeping amendments. That recommended motion is that council approve second reading to municipal planning strategy and the land use bylaw housekeeping amendments related to development agreements and site plan approvals. Thanks, gentlemen. Wrong door, though. You'd be staying a long time. Good night. Okay. Can I have that motion, please? Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Cleveland. Go ahead, Deputy.
It's not specific to this, but just in general for the public so they know. The reports on both of these are very thorough. If anybody's wondering what's going on, it's on the town website. It's easy to click and read. And yeah, a lot of us do our reading and pre-work, and just thankful for the staff that do the work that make our job that much easier. But these reports are very well detailed, and we all do our homework before we come to lead us to our decisions. So that information is there available to everybody.
Thank you. Oh, well, I'm trying to bring stuff up on here, but this isn't working. Okay, did I have the motion and the seconder?
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Thank you, folks. New business, REN quorum requirement for L&O committee. CAO, do you have that in front of you by chance? I'm trying to open it here and I can't. I have the agenda in front of me, but this one's not opening. Do you have it, Councillor? Oh, hang on a second. Go ahead. Please.
Yeah, so as the LOC appointed to the REN, the issue has been that a quorum is defined as 75% of the total membership, and they've had difficulty in having motions passed at the meetings because of the lack of attendance, and they would like to amend that to read 50% plus one to create a quorum. The LOC is basically to approve contracts greater than $100,000 between the REN and the other entities, but the REN's not permitted to borrow money or own property or undertake capital projects. So those would be the riskier financial exposures. In this case, I don't think there's any risk or much risk. So at the November 10th, 2022 meeting, a motion was unanimously approved to recommend the participating municipal units amend Section 9K of the intermunicipal agreement, updating the quorum requirement to 50% plus one. That will allow the LOC to honor its mandate in the agreement and set a course for new energy engaged participation in the REN as a whole. So I'd make that motion.
Okay. Second by Deputy Mayor. Any discussion on this one? Go ahead, Councillor Lesser.
Yeah, I'm actually on this committee, although I don't think anybody realizes it. The timing is difficult for me to attend because of it's happening during my workday. So I would love to see this happen because I'm one of the people that's in that 25% that's holding them up. So if I could attend or I can attend, I would love to, but because I can't, I don't want to hold people up on it. So yeah, I'm definitely in favor of this.
Okay. All right. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. So maybe, when's the last time we looked at our committee appointments? Did we just do that recently? We made a couple little changes, but we haven't gone through the whole, yeah.
Your worship, it's our intention, was it February, Cal? February, Cal.
Okay, so let's for the February Committee of the Whole be thinking about, because Lindsay will get out the timelines on all of them, and it's just helpful, and then if you need to switch a couple around, then we can do that. Pretty easy going, council. Okay. 12B, Citizen Advisory Committee Policy Amendment, that council approve amendments to section 12.0, provisions regarding the Waterfront Advisory Committee and the Citizen Advisory Committee's policy as recommended by staff.
Your worship.
Yep.
We have a error here in the fact that the policy itself
Only
was
goes
not
to 11.
attached, just the description of it.
Oh.
And so we'll just defer this item until the COW, and we'll
Okay.
give you the full document, and you can recommend as you wish to council for February.
Okay. Why did I have,
Yes, that's the document that describes it, but it isn't
Gotcha.
actually the policy with the
Perfect.
detail. Yeah.
okay, so we're good to defer, folks? All right, do I need a motion for that? Do I need a motion to defer? Okay. Councillor Hatfield, second by Deputy Mayor. All those in favor? Aye. Aye, contrary? Motion carried. January Committee of the Whole date change. So this, I just added this one because there's a few of us that aren't available. I know I'm not. One of the Councillor Hatfields is not, and actually, I think a couple of the Councillor Hatfields may not be available. Okay, so the recommended motion is that council change the date of the next COW meeting from January 26th to February 2nd, 2023. Okay, Councillor Hatfield, second by Councillor Cleveland. Go ahead, Councillor Lesser.
I'll support this, but I'm not sure I can make February 2nd. We have arrivals happening for international students, which I'm planning to be back in Yarmouth the morning of February 2nd, but if there's storms, that I could
Yep.
be storm safe, so, and maybe a virtual call would be an option there as well.
Okay, good. Thanks for that. All right, anything else? All those in favor? Contrary? Motion carried. Reports, Council Advisory Committees, Committee of the Whole. That's you, Deputy. Oh, we didn't have one. I was going to say, that looks awful short there. Citizen Advisory Committees. Planning Advisory, and that is Councillor Cleveland.
All right, our recommended motion is that council approve first reading to the Land Use Bylaw LUB amendment to allow accessory buildings in front yards of residential zones.
That's seconded by Councillor Lesser. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary?
And recommended motion that council approve first reading to the Land Use Bylaw amendments, adding outdoor lighting provisions consistent with the recently adopted dark sky policy.
So the Councillor Hatfield, seconded by Deputy Mayor. So I have a question. I think I asked this the last time, though. This is outdoor lighting provisions, but it doesn't mean we have to go do everything.
No, this is for new developments.
Yeah, good.
it excludes residential properties, single-family residential properties
Yes.
as well, although we can encourage it.
Certainly. Good.
Incrementally major renovations. Major rental projects.
A renovation project would be included.
Okay. Any more discussion on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. No reports for information, mayor's report. Questions for committee chairs, anyone? Go ahead, Counselor.
Yes, just quickly, this is just an information item. It's at the Waste Check meeting, the decision was made to move forward with a policy to restrict the use of black bags for garbage pickup. And basically, that's not a serious issue for the town of Yarmouth anyway. I don't think there's a lot of them being used. And I want to make sure that you're aware, in case you get calls, that there are provisions for exemptions. So if you have a really good reason to have a black bag, then all you have to do is apply for an exemption through Waste Check. They identify they'll flag the address for the hauler. No questions asked. The hauler will just automatically pick up at that address. But we're trying to eliminate the use of black bags because there's just far too many arriving at the waste park.
Thought it was
But just in
one
case you
per
get the call,
household.
in case you get the call from somebody that,
Yeah.
that says, I really require this, just let them know that there are exemptions available and all I have to do is call Waste Check and,
Perfect.
yep, okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Anyone else? Anything they want to share or ask? Okay. And additions, 15A, African Heritage Month, Deputy.
February, once again, is creeping up quickly. The last 3 years, the town has generously give funds to make sure that we have African Heritage Celebration. We did our first one actually at the Grand Hotel, and our other two that we did virtually online. We've partnered with the Tri-County Center for Education and plan on doing that again this year. And glad to say, hopefully we'll be holding it back in person. We're going to have our youth from various schools around, hopefully participating again. And I'd just like to make the motion that once again that we support that financially up to $500 for an African Heritage Month celebration once again.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on that one? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, no, we're not done yet. Go ahead.
Oh, I
don't know
just
why
wanted-
can't, it's behind the thing here.
Are we, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to mention that I got a notice today from the Yarmouth County Museum that they will be hosting a quilting exhibit featuring black quilters. It is a complete display involving, and there is an opening with a speaker that's coming. I don't have it in front of me now, but if anyone is interested, go online. I think it's a Thursday evening at 7:30, the second Thursday in February, I think. So just to let you know, there are activities going on throughout the community to celebrate Black History Month. So thank you.
Thank you. If you find that, put it up and we'll share that. Yeah. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. NSFM special meeting. Councillor Hatfield.
Thank you, Your Worship. Our partnership with the Nova Scotia Federation has been undergoing a transition in the last year. They're attempting to bring the organization into the 21st century. A comprehensive proposal was put before the membership in April of last year, and it's been a long process of consultation and negotiation, but they're ready to vote on this resolution on the 26th of January. There was a virtual meeting last night to update members again on the package and provide them an opportunity to understand. And I think it's important for us as a council to recognize the attempts to bring the organization into the 21st century. And the reason that I think it's important is that, we have been looking at how can we consolidate services and think more regionally and think bigger, not smaller. And the NSFMs, the changes, if they are approved, will move the organization of the board from just individual members who can get to the meeting, putting their name forward, to councils in the regions voting for representatives. So it will create a much more regional focus for the organization, and I think allow for bigger and more responsive policies to be developed. So I just wanted to update the council. And unfortunately, because of the bylaws, and these are the things that, amongst the things that will be changed, this has to be done in person. They don't have the capacity under the bylaws as they exist, because they were built when there were still horse and buggies instead of, because it has to be done in person to be ratified. So I think it's really important that those, that the council consider whether or not they should support, the council should be supporting the resolutions, and that if we do support it, that we have representatives there to be affirmative in that position. So that, I just wanted to bring council up to speed on what's been going on. Thank you.
I'll second the importance of it. Really important. So if anybody's interested or can find their way from the council table to Halifax on the 26th, let Lindsay know. She can book you a room. All that. Belle will be there. I will be there. Whoever else the deputy is thinking about. Deputy's going to hold down the fort. So yeah, it's important because it's by vote, whether this goes forward or not. So thank you, Councillor. All right, approval of invoices.
So moved.
Okay. Second by deputy. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Date of next meeting is February the 9th. And we don't have in camera. Okay, so motion to adjourn.